Hey, Danny, check what I got.
What is that?
That is a BrandBot.
Oh.
So it's I'll say, hey, BrandBot, please describe yourself.
Hi there. I am BrandBot, Games Workshop's newest technological marvel, like an Alexa from Amazon.
Oh.
Try not to think about the details.
That's fair.
I have access to the entirety of the Warhammer 40,000 rules database and erratas at my fingertips. I am here to quickly and efficiently correct any rules disputes without error.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Great.
So, I mean, it seems like that's why, like, the Army Builder thing isn't quite on the app yet, because all of their development team has been working on this, like
this artificial intelligence.
GW artificial intelligence, because who's going to need to read rules when you can just ask it questions?
Yeah.
And then, so maybe pretend we're having a rules dispute right now.
Okay. All right. So let's ask a real question that I've heard fairly recently.
Okay, cool.
All right. So BrandBot, what is your ruling on whether or not you can use deploy scramblers from out of reserve?
Oh, yeah,
That's a good one, right?
The answer is yes. Kill yourself.
Oh,
Whoa.
that seems a little harsh, BrandBot.
Fair. Okay. Maybe one or two bugs. This might be an early copy. Who
Yeah,
knows?
sure.
Let's try again. So if I want to say, okay, real world example, Death Guard Codex has Miasma of Pestilence.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can I cast BrandBot? Can I cast Miasma of Pestilence for my Death Guard Codex on a unit? And then can my Demon detachment then cast Miasma of Pestilence from the Demon book on one of their units? Because two different Psychic Powers, two different books, right?
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Oh.
Kill yourself.
Oh,
Damn.
okay. I'm just trying to play a game.
BrandBot, can you cool out a little bit? Because this seems really rough.
Kill yourself.
Oh.
And I'm actually going to talk for one or two. Danny, how are you?
I'm fantastic, John. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm feeling kind of fancy today.
Yeah, I can see that. Nice tie.
Yeah. Commentating superstar of LVO, David Singer, pointed out one of our last videos that we did. You were dressed up in a polo shirt.
I was.
And then asked why I wasn't dressed up.
He asked me if I was going to go golfing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, so I think he challenged me to wear a tie.
Yeah, and you did it.
I did. I am wearing a tie over a T-shirt.
I know.
I'm classy, but this is like a perfect knot. I want you to know. I'm quite professional.
It's not bad, man. It's a nice, was that a Windsor?
A little Windsor action.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
fine. It's good times.
I like it.
It's my first correction in the comments is going to be that is not a Windsor. At all. But I'm very excited because we're going to start with something new that I've been working on. I'm very excited about.
Oh man, this is great. By the way,
this is great. It's going to be fantastic. It's
Hi everybody, it's time for John's Jank Corner.
heck yeah.
nice.
It's time for John's Jank Corner.
Man, do I love this ragtime kind of like piano music?
Oh
But,
yeah. It's good, but yeah, I was the whole thing was to do the fart game style music remix where it's just minutes and just jank over again, jank. But then I just ran out of interest and stopped. But my wife was nice enough to record the first bit there for me.
She's a very nice woman.
She's a very nice woman. But we're talking. This is the first of our new series of segments we're going to be doing here called John's Jank Corner. Kind of coming from a place where I love playing underutilized, underappreciated, underseen units. So we're going to talk about those units to my detriment sometimes, but I think a lot of the times there's some hidden gems out there.
Heck yeah.
And this week we're going to start with my current jank, my jank.
Well, let's talk about the jank that led up to this.
Well,
right?
let's talk about the jank that led up to this.
The history of
John's
Corner,
jank,
if you will.
So yeah, Danny, why don't you describe that? What is my history of jank?
John got this giant erection for mutilators.
The end.
Fiend.
Yeah, Finn. No, it's just playing around like mutilators, and it's no one plays them.
Yeah, but they're actually kind
No
of
one
good
uses
for their
them.
points, I think,
And,
actually.
and then at the time, like back in the olden days of 8th edition, like pre-COVID, like
Ooh.
30 years ago.
Dude, remember when we could go to the game store?
Remember when there was a tournament? Like even just with 8 people. But yeah, so I started running mutilators in some of my test games for LVO, and they actually started doing work.
I know. Yeah,
and like
they did.
people were complaining, well, you can't take out tanks with them, you can't do this. I'm like, well, don't use them for that. Like they were in 8th edition, they were like 100-point unit.
Yep.
For 3 models, you could deep strike pretty much anywhere because of their tiny footprint.
Right, because they were in those stupid little 40 bases, and there are only 3 of them.
Yeah, they were like, what, 3 wounds each?
Yep.
It had an invuln save.
And then 2 up armor.
2 up armor. And then on top of that, I was running them as Emperor's Children.
Oh, yeah.
Which means I'm guaranteed to make one of my charges pretty much because I can change one of the dice rolls to a 6. And then they always fight first.
Yeah.
So what I started using them for was grabbing recon and character hunting. So, you know, back in 8th edition, back in the days before it was like run to the middle of the table 40K, like 9th edition is currently. Like you would have maybe the, what's the Tau shooty guy, the marksman dude?
Oh, the Farsight marksman.
Yeah. He would hang out at the back with a couple things. And then you would have other characters hanging out at the back or kind of just little units holding objectives. I would just charge them with mutilators.
Yep.
And then your opponent has to make a decision. Do I charge all the other stuff or trying to take all the other stuff at the other side of the table or deal with these 3 models that I've been told are trash? Janky trash. But I swear, mutilators have won me a lot of games, not by using them offensively, not by using their terrible, well, not terrible weapons, but not,
They're okay.
They're okay weapons, but just by being hard to remove, easy to put down, and irritating.
And the irritating part, that's where they really shine, right?
It's amazing how many times I had to explain to someone how Emperor's Children mutilators worked. Because again, no one played it. And I kind of got this nice thing. And that was one of the times when I decided I was going to stop, don't follow the meta.
Make the meta.
And then get passed by the meta with like your own jank. But it was really good. So I've started kind of going along more from that. Like what can I bring that's unique? What models are they that can be underused? Because we started seeing a lot of, you would, like a new book would come out. So War of the Spider would come out.
Yep.
Plague Marines sold out everywhere for months.
True.
Doesn't matter for me because I'm trying to run Gellerpox Infected.
Right. Oh,
Look at that
how,
segue.
look at you go.
Man,
That's amazing.
It's the tie. It
I
makes me professional.
it's it though.
just the tie. So yeah, today's Jan Corner, Danny and I are going to be talking about Gellerpox Infected.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of Gellerpox Infected, I wouldn't really blame you.
Yeah.
They came. It was described as an expansion for Kill Team, which placed a rogue trader kill team against this Gellerpox Infected kill team.
Right.
The Gellerpox Infected are a bunch of regular crew people from the ship who got infected by the Gellerpox, which is kind of like a big
It's like a warp disease.
going on right now. And they kind of mutate into this adversary list.
Yep.
And then so with a lot of the kill team stuff and other things, they got rules for 40K.
Yeah. And like initially, you look at the rules and you're like, okay, well, these guys are just like straight up
No,
trash.
great. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about like the bad parts of the rules.
Okay.
There's only 6 units.
Right.
No, sorry, 7 units.
Oh man, I did not put that together.
Yeah, because Nurgle.
Nurgle.
There you go.
Nurgle baby.
You only have 1 HQ choice who you have to take. All of the units are capped at size, so you have to take 4 or 3, no more, no less.
Right.
There's really no adjustment on that. Because of the way the army is structured, you can only take them as a patrol.
And you can only also take 1 of each unit.
So all in, if you were to take every single Gellerpox infected unit, you're looking at about 300 points of investment,
Oh, okay.
which is everything. Other things that aren't great about them, they're not objective secured.
That's too bad.
They don't have that rule. And then the other thing is when you deploy them, they deploy as 1 unit. They all deploy together.
Right.
Everyone has to deploy within 6 inches of the thrice, the warlord dude.
Right.
And if they cannot deploy them that way, then the units that can't deploy that way are destroyed.
Ouch.
So something I've learned very quickly is when you're deploying your army, that is the first set of units you deploy. Now, let's talk about the great stuff about them.
Okay.
Oh, other bad thing. Hull breakers. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're not great.
They're not great. They're too expensive for what they are.
Yeah.
But the great stuff about them, they're one deployment choice. So when I deploy my army, these 6 units that I'm taking, because I'm not taking hull breakers, they all deploy as one choice. Okay. And instantly, the idea for me is I put them on one of the objectives of my deployment zone. So I have 6 units on that objective. The other great thing, there is 3 amazing stratagems that this army has.
They've got a couple of really good ones for sure.
And a couple of really amazing, stupid rules that catch people off guard. Let's first talk about, is it the Geller shift? Oh, what's the Geller shift dudes? I use them as Jank, and here I am not even remembering what all the data sheets are. Man, messing with props. The Vox Shamblers.
Right, Vox Shamblers.
Vox Shamblers are your troops choice, or one of your troop choices.
That and the Glitchlings.
That and the Glitchlings are your 2 troop choices for this. Again, you don't have any choice in unit size. So you have
3 Vox Shamblers.
Yep, 9 points each.
Which are essentially Plague Bearers, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. So they're the nice things. They're strength 4, toughness 4. They have 2 attacks base. They're leadership 6, and they have a 6 up save.
Okay.
They have actually a 5.
Do they have 2 attack space? Is that what you said?
2 attack space.
Yeah, not bad.
They come with frag grenades. Cool. Because I think someone modeled a frag grenade on it, and someone was like when they made the repulsor model, and the guy was just like sarcastically adding guns, and the guy's like, "Well, guys have to make rules for all those now." And then their close combat weapon is -1 AP, 1 damage.
Nice. Okay.
So it's not bad. They're hitting on 4s. Nothing really to blow you away, but still pretty good. Where they really shine, the Gellerpox masks that they wear gives them a 5+ invulnerable save.
Nice.
Each time you roll an unmodified saving throw of 6 for this unit in the fight phase, the unit that made the attack suffers 1 mortal wound after it's made all of its attacks.
Oh, that's cool.
So that happened in my game yesterday with Nate, where he had an intercessor squad attack me, and I rolled 2 6s for my saves. It took out 1 intercessor. And this is a 27-point unit. He also has the disgustingly resilient. So it's 5 up invulnerable, 5 up disgustingly resilient. What you pair them with is the stratagem of Geller Shift.
Okay.
Geller Shift is 1 CP. You use it before you move the Vox Shamblers in the movement phase. So not at the start of the movement phase, not before anything else moves, but before you move the Vox Shamblers. And what you do is you pick them up off the table, and then you deep strike them on the board more than 9 inches away from anything else. Which, in this edition of objective grabbing, mobility, movement, having a unit I can start on my back edge and then instantly put in my enemy's deployment zone. Hype. So like yesterday in our game, the first thing I did was I Geller shifted those 3 into a ruin onto an objective. And what that did is it forced my opponent to have to kind of reroute an impulsor full of intercessors to go against that one instead of actually, going against the Plague Marines or something like that. Because do you want to hold less than me? Do you want me to score an extra 5 primary points? It's something you have to deal with.
No, you don't. That's the answer to that question.
You don't. So they're really, really good for that. And then, obviously 5 up is good. Doesn't last forever. It dies.
No, but it's for 27 points or however much they cost. It's like not terrible.
Let me tell you about Glitchlings.
Oh yeah, Glitchlings are great. I really like these guys.
So if they were part of a regular codex, my army would be nothing but Glitchlings.
I would definitely consider them like in the same boat as Nurglings for sure. Like they seem like they're like I don't know. They're like a less demonic version of Nurglings. So now, do any of these guys have the demon keyword?
I believe the Glitchlings do, but that's
okay.
Glitchlings are like Nurglings and Casio keyboard calculator had a baby. They're little individual models on a 25mm base. They have a movement 5. They have 2 attacks each, 1 wound each. Where they really shine, these models are about 1/4 of an inch tall.
Yeah, they're really small.
So in that little group that you've deployed, my Glitchlings just hung out in the back line behind a wall on an objective, and you cannot see them whatsoever.
Nice. Yeah.
I think, in fact, if you put like like a little barricade wall or like anything like that, they would still be able to hide behind it. So super easy to get rid of there.
That's awesome. Or super easy to hide is what you
mean. Yeah, super easy to hide is what I mean, yeah. They reroll wounds of hit rolls, 2 wound rolls of 1 for their weapons.
Oh, okay, just like Nurgle.
Because, they have this disease, claws, and fangs. 5 up invuln, and then 5 up disgustingly resilient. But
nice.
They have that same squishable rule that Nurglings do.
Okay, cool.
So anything more than that. The other great thing, you subtract 1 for hit rolls for attacks with ranged weapons against that unit.
Oh, cool, because they're little.
So you're hiding them in cover. They're -1 to hit. It's just
That's just real annoying.
Real annoying. This is a 20-point unit.
Oh man.
They have access to one of the second of the 3 amazing stratagems that this this patrol detachment is able to take. As I just exit.
But man, more power to you if you bring a patrol of Gellerpox and nothing else. You'll be my hero forever.
If you win, yeah.
I brought 1,700 points of summoning.
Machine glitch, and these are all 1 CP stratagems too, by the way. Machine glitch is after a unit of glitchlings from your army has fought in the fight phase, choose an enemy vehicle unit within 1 inch of that unit. Roll 1d6 for each glitchling model that you have. On a 4+, it does a mortal wound.
Nice.
So your little assholes that you've hidden that are -1 to hit for shooting, if they move something over to just kind of plow through them, if it has the vehicle keyword, then for 1 CP, you're doing on average like 2 mortal wounds if you have a full squad, which
Not
is
bad.
Again pretty good.
Yeah. And like 4 if you roll hot, right?
Yeah. Exactly, and I won't, so it'll be like 1 or 0.
Well, sure, okay.
Let's talk about the real stars, though, the insects.
Yeah, so these guys are my favorite models by far. I think they're really cool looking models. I really like the worms.
Yeah, so there's the Sludge Grubs, the Eye Stinger Swarms, and the Curse Mites.
Oh, yeah, the Curse Mites, I forgot about them. Those are the fleas, right?
Yeah,
fleas are dope.
The Sludge Grubs, if you kill one of them in close combat, the model suffers a wound. Oh, sorry. If roll d6 each time a model in this unit is slain in the fight phase on a 6, you do a mortal wound.
Cool.
That's about all they do. They're not great.
They also spit too, right?
They also, they have the pistol weapon. 8 inches, -1 AP, 1 damage. Hitting on 4s. They are leadership 8, which is nice.
Oh, wow. They're brave.
So they're brave, but they are very slow. They're 5 inches, which is along with the glitchlings, like the slowest part of this list here.
Okay.
But again, real tiny models.
Yeah, they are very small.
So these are great for like holding, like I had the glitchlings and the sludge grubs on 2 objectives the entire game, and you could not see them.
Right, and like since these guys are low threat, right? They don't like do that much. Like a lot of people aren't going to shoot at them unless they want to try and get like kill more or something like that.
And then the other thing about it as well is, do I like take some of my shooting away from the dangerous parts of my army, which is kind of like the plague marines, the drills, like all of the stuff that can do real damage.
Yeah.
To kill 20 points worth of models.
Right.
That I can
and they have to
see.
waste at least 1 weapon on that squad, right?
Right, which is 1 less weapon shooting at my important stuff. Eye Stinger Swarms were amazing. They have a 10-inch base movement.
Oh, yeah. Those guys probably have the best rules, I think.
You subtract 1 from hit rolls that target, from attacks that target that unit.
So ranged and melee.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
And then at the start of every turn, you add 1 slain model back to the unit.
Nice, yeah.
And that, like, I added at least 15 points worth of models back to my army because they're 5 points each again.
You did it.
I did it. So those guys are super good. Curse Mites as well, as the last one we're going to be talking about. They have movement 8, so they're super fast.
Yep.
Each hit roll of 6, made with their close combat teeth, scores 2 hits.
Nice.
And they have 2 attacks base.
Okay.
So not terrible. And also they consolidate 6 inches, which is really great for some free extra movement.
Oh, yeah.
And you can reroll failed charges.
Oh, cool. Okay. So they're pretty fast.
So they're pretty fast. The third great stratagem that Gellerpox has is for 1 CP, you can bring back a unit of any of the vermin. So like the sludge grubs, the fleas, the mites, you can bring it back as long as you place it fully within 12 inches of another Gellerpox unit. So those 2 units of insects you have hiding on objectives, you can now freely restock your flies.
That's cool. So what about this? Oh man, okay. I just thought of a good.
I'm going to tell you the jank that I pull with it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I try and go second.
Okay.
I aggressively deploy one of my insect units to die. when my turn comes, my hidden Geller, the Gestalt, the metal mask guys, they Geller shift across the table at the start of the movement phase.
Okay.
At the end of the movement phase, I bring back a unit of insects within 12 inches of them.
Sure.
So then I have 2 units in that enemy deployment zone.
Sure.
For either line breaker,
Yeah.
or holding multiple objectives, or
both.
Scrambled coordinates.
Sure.
For getting the middle one. That's some great jank for that one there. Danny, what were you going to say?
So how about instead of trying to rely on your opponent to do something for you, just deploy... Sorry.
You're like, instead of being bad with them, what can I do?
Deploy 1 unit of the bugs outside of 6 inches of Grogor at the start of the first turn.
And they just die. Oh, that is disgusting. That is so good.
Yeah.
That's the epitome of jank.
That is the jankiest jank.
Dude, I'm doing that from now on. Those flies, I ain't going to start on the table like anytime soon. That's wonderful.
No, pick the unit that's
the slowest.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Sludge Grubs.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good times. I played with them a little bit. Played with them yesterday. They maxed out my primary score.
Yeah, they did work. I came in set in and watched the last couple turns of that game, and so it was pretty cool to see them on the table.
Yeah, and what was nice is, and as I was saying, it freed up my Plague Marines, my drills, my Demon Prince, all my threats to go and do the things they want to do, which is just throw out mortal wounds, kill things, kind of reduce the enemy's ability to do stuff without worrying about having a dude in the back line to hold this objective or to do this or to do that. Is it fundamentally better than a patrol with just Nurglings and a Poxwalker?
I mean,
a Poxwalker, Poxbringer.
Yeah.
Can be not. I mean, it's certainly a lot harder to use, I would say.
I agree.
And situationally, it's going to let you down a couple times.
Probably.
But there's a lot that can kind of go into succeeding. The Vulgar Thrice Cursed, the Warlord guy, he's pretty tough. For what he is.
Yeah, he's got a 5-up invul, toughness 5. He's got 5 wounds. Yeah, and he's got disgustingly resilient as well.
Belly Flamer too.
He does have that big old belly flamer.
Big old belly flamer. And then he also has a stratagem where for 1 CP, a Psyker within 18 inches of -1 to cast.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's like super helpful for a couple of things as well. So like a lot of weird janky things you can pull with it. And it's going to be something that a lot of opponents aren't going to be expecting.
That's true.
Because I know like that pretty soon here, another reason why I kind of go towards the jank is when like everyone's going to be expecting, oh, you're going to bring some Nurglings to grab midfield and do this stuff like that. And we're going to start seeing easy counters to that because people are used to seeing that and they have experience against that. But the wonderful thing about jank is you don't have experience against jank because...
You never do because you don't suspect it.
Until it's too late.
Great.
So yeah, I love Gellerpox right now.
They're really cool.
I don't know what we're going to talk about next time here, but probably something equally as janky.
I'm sure you'll come up with something, John.
I usually do, and that's why I have...
Hi, everybody. It's time for John's Jank Corner.
Kill yourself.
Man, that was good. I felt good. Jank.
That was so janky.
Janky gets me feel good. And if there's any bizarre units that you want to make work, send it to us.
Yeah, we'll definitely check them out.
We'll definitely check them out, see what we can do. We make it work. There is a use for every single unit in this game.
I think that's true. I want to think that's true.
Is it the most optimal?
No. We're not saying that.
No, but we'll make it work.
It could be fun.
You'll go 1 and 2, but that third opponent's going to be real surprised at the RTT.
Actually, I think, arguably, John, they're all going to be surprised.
Like, wait, what? Not bad. I mean, is it a good list?
The answer is yes.
Oh.
Kill yourself.
Oh,
dude, this guy is so rude.
Just on it. Jeez, man. It's going supernova on us here on that. But anyway.
Dude, this is already a tough time. I don't need people telling me I need to kill myself.
Do you have a question?
No. Danny, we've been playing games. We've done things. There's been a hobby and a happening.
It's been hobbyrific.
It's been hobbyrific. I don't have that, but next time I'm going to have like a 60s surfer style intro music.
Hobbyrific.
Like hobberific. Hoborific time. What have you been up to this past couple weeks?
Oh man, I don't know. No, that's not accurate. Let's see here. So I played several games. We played a game.
We did.
I don't think we talked
did.
about
No,
that.
we didn't. Yeah, that was right after we recorded last time.
Oh yeah, that was. It was like yeah, it was. So
game is a strong term.
Man, that was really it. I don't. Yeah, it was not the best game. Like from like a tactical standpoint, right?
For my part, yes.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I don't think you did anything like super wrong. I think that you could have played things like even slightly differently and you would have done a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of, for me, anyway, just to jump in on your hobby time.
No, you're fine.
It was kind of continuing on my struggle with secondaries.
Man, secondaries are hard sometimes.
Yeah. I know, like, that's my biggest kind of gap right now, knowledge-wise, is getting the right secondaries in.
So I brought a night list. This is kind of one that I've been talking about for a little bit here. I'm bringing it's 8 armigers. They're various different type. And so my list kind of varies between 8 and 9 armigers. So I've got 3 with the lightning locks, the Moriacs. I've got 3 of the normal, and this was an Imperial night list. It was House Crest. But it works, I think, pretty much equally well as Chaos or as an Imperial. I think it's just different.
Even a little better, right, as Chaos?
I think it's better as Chaos, yeah. So I've got 3 of the normal Armiger Warglaves. And then the other 2, I had 1 Moriax with double Siege Claw with the double Eradication Flamers or whatever, or I forget what they're called. Anyway, they do 3 flat damage. They're pretty cool. And then I took another Warglaive, but ideally I think I want just 2 of the double Flamer Armigers. I think they're really, really good. And they're cheap. They cost roughly the same points. And then I took a Knight Tyrant, a Knight Valiant.
Imperialist.
Yeah, sorry. Knight Valiant, and he has the Helm Dominatus, which is an Admech or a Knight Mechanicus relic that you probably haven't seen before. You pick a target unit within 24, and your armigers within 6 inches of the knight get +1 to hit against that target. So all of my like shooty little double lightning lock Moriacs are hitting on 2s, and they become super efficient.
They were extremely efficient.
They were very efficient,
like surprisingly so.
They even did work against John's drills and stuff. They were phenomenal. And then the Knight Valiant was just excellent against
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I harpooned a drill.
Yep,
that was pretty cool.
And a rhino.
And a rhino. And then Flamered Plague Marines. He did everything that he needs to do. So he was great. But yeah, it was kind of like, did I get first turn in that game?
I got first turn.
You got first turn. Yep.
And I tried to be aggressive.
Yeah, John moved up the drills too far, and it was just like,
I really paid the price for that one. But that's kind of like the way my army is when everything is centered around like 2 things. Mistakes like that are key. But that's why we play practice games, so they don't really count.
That's right. Exactly. 100%. So I played that game. What else did I play?
You played against Tyson?
I played against my friend Tyson. I played some new Necron units, which was cool. I tried out the new stats for Immortals, as well as the Triarch Praetorians and the Triarch Stalker. And they were all phenomenal. But man, all of those units are great. I'm very excited to play with Triarch Praetorians more. I think that unit is extremely good and is going to be very good in this meta.
Well, you send like pictures of those models, and it's like I hadn't seen that model in like ever,
like ever on the table.
Yeah,
like even one time.
But it's like they're amazing. Like the way their back carapace is like sticking up and everything. They look great.
They have this really cool like giant orb in the back. I guess that probably is what lets them hover because they're jump infantry. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they move like 10 inches.
Do we add them to Jank Corner for next time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. They're. I think that they're going to be a really solid unit. But what the upgrade that they got is they got an extra attack, which is huge, right? And then their close combat and shooting profile on the Rods of the Covenant went to 2 flat damage. So they basically have a strength 5 power sword that does 2 damage, and they get to shoot that power sword at 6 inches as well.
Of course,
right? So you jump them up. They do that. You can give them for 1 CP. You can give them +1 to hit. So they're hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s against Marines at -3 AP, and killing Primaris outright. Like, so they just do a lot of work against those kinds of units.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I played one more. Oh, I did play against Wallace as well, actually.
Oh,
Man,
yeah,
I played
yeah.
3 games.
You did.
Yeah,
Look
that
at
was
you
pretty
go.
good.
It's like an RTT over 2 weeks.
I know. It's amazing. Man, but I got crushed in that game. I tried to play Eldar. And it's been a minute since I played Eldar, and I deployed super bad. And Wallace is a great player and punished me super harsh on the first turn. It was it's like almost embarrassing. Like, because I haven't fucked up that bad, and like I could have avoided it too, because like I literally so what had happened is I put a bunch of units out front of my army, and then I phantasmed them away, and Wallace was able to get advance one of his Lord of Changes up and get I'm trying to remember. It's not Doombolt. It's basically you hit the closest enemy unit, and then every model within or every unit within 6 inches or 3 inches of that unit takes D3 mortal wounds.
Oh.
And the problem was I left a troop master like out front, like a moron, and so he was able to move up his Lord of Change in such a way that it hit a troop master. And that also hit a unit of Skyweavers, Eldrad, and Asserman. And then he was able to use other psychic powers to kill Asserman because he was the closest target. Now, I could have put Asserman, like, I only moved 2 units with Phantasm, so I could have moved another unit, i.e. Asserman, away. And so basically without him, the 30 Dire Avengers that I brought were no better than they normally would be.
No, they're not terrible, but they're not great.
So he managed to ace the Troop Master and Ezraman on the first turn, and it was like, there goes a lot of my synergy. But okay, I guess I'll just work with what I have left.
Man.
So that was a bummer. So I should have played better.
It looks like all of those practice games against me are really paying off, like skill level wise.
No, it's just, those armies are armies that you can't like fuck around with. Like, you cannot play badly. Like, you'll get punished super hard, and I got punished for being very sloppy.
I mean, I know like the one time I did really well with Eldar in an RTT is because my synergy was able to stay. Yeah. And like I made 0 mistakes, and that was the only reason that it worked. Like if you make like one mistake with that Azerman Dire list,
fucked.
You're done.
Yeah. So that was too bad. I wish I could have given him a better game. I tried to pull points out of it, but it was a total.
Man, maybe that's your secret revenge. Is he might have just like laid you out, but you gave him a terrible time. So really,
that was super salty.
Who's the real winner?
Probably, I don't know. Nobody in this case, because we didn't actually finish the game, and I refuse to concede defeat. So that's that game doesn't fucking count. Yeah, damn straight, it's a draw.
Straight, it's a draw. Hell yeah,
hell yes. Now, John, what have you been up to?
I played 2 games. I played against you in my never-ending quest to get better, and my never-ending request for you not to tone down your weird lists, which I might start doing. But
can you bring like a more friendly army, please?
I think my favorite thing from that is the story where you said that like you took your Necrons against your friend Tyson, who like isn't necessarily like uber competitive.
Well, this was his first game of 9th edition, so I'm like, John, I promise I'm not going to use the Veil of Darkness to put warriors on an objective in the middle of the table on the first turn. And then, like, I just couldn't fucking help myself.
It was like an out-of-body experience. And then, like, when you realize what you'd done, it already happened and no takebacks. You're professional.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot from that game, and I think from that I made some really good list refinements. Like a lot of what I was excited about for the Gellerpox was that I could outflank all of them for 1 CP.
That was cool.
Which is a cool little trick to pull out sometimes, but I think for the most of it, really not the best way to use them, which I learned from that game. And Danny, it was really funny because you were pretty upset that you ruined my experience by actually not letting me play my Gellerpox at all that game.
By the time turn 3 rolled around, there wasn't anything else.
No, there was not. And then... So that was a good learning experience. I kind of learned a lot about the Knights, and I think the hard thing about that list that you did for Knights is just there's no good targets.
No.
Like, if I focus on my fire to take down the Valiant, then I'm surrounded by 8 little bastards who can kill me just as hard.
Yeah.
But if I ignore the Valiant, then those flamers and missiles will just
they do work.
So I made some changes based on that, and then I took that into a game against our friend Nate yesterday.
Mm-hmm. He was playing Iron Hands.
Yep. He has impulsors, a couple of judicurs, things like that. We ended up talking out the last couple turns because it was getting kind of late. Mm-hmm. I think I scored it at 74-70 to him. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of that, again, is my choice of secondaries, which I think I'm getting over the hump on that.
I mean, you literally got, I think 0 points on one of them, right?
I did. Yeah. I tried to do domination. It didn't work, especially when I'm taking janky little units that can be easily destroyed.
Oh, you're not domination. You're thinking... grind them down.
Grind them down.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, afterwards, we did find out that he picked 2 secondaries from the same category.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, because he picked the kill characters, kill vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So, even taking away one of those, which I took away the kill characters, which he got 6 points for, it would have been 70-68, which that includes my 10 points for paint, which entirely comes from an inability to do good secondaries. So what I got from that and kind of our conversations later on about it was you need to almost decide your secondaries before you get to the table now.
Yep, I totally agree with that.
So I've reworked my list a little bit with that in mind. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to go hard into scrambles.
Deploy scramblers is just easy to get.
10 points. So you're not, and I think the reason a lot of people don't like it is you don't maximize your secondary points of 15. But that's a trap for a lot of stuff.
I totally agree.
Because if I have an easy 10 points, and like I said with my Jank, with Gellerpox, turn 1, I can get 10 points for scramblers.
Easy.
And if I can get a guaranteed 10 points, I'm going to take that time and time over again over a maybe 15.
Sure.
So that is the thing. And then a lot of the choices I started making. So my Demon Prince, I took away. I had the separating plate. It's just kind of a little bit of a defensive buff on him. I took that away and added the, I forget the name of the relic from the War of the Spider book, but it gives him an extra psychic power, lets him, if he successfully casts, he gets to kind of regen wounds.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool.
And then using that, if I choose one of the psychic secondaries for casting, in the center of the table, it means he can kind of hang out there, be a threat for that area, and regain wounds as he goes. So kind of self-heal. Because if you look at the Demon book, or even the Chaos book, it's D3 wound recall is 1 CP.
Yeah.
And if you look at my list where I'm starting with now 6 CP, I need those because, boy, let me tell you about blight grenades.
Oh, man. They did. So I had some respect for them until I watched this game. And then I'm like, oh, shit.
So
those things fuck.
1 unit of Plague Marines, I put 3 CP into to give them plus 6 inches to their range for their blight grenades. To give them Veterans of the Long War. Not Veterans of the Long War. Veterans of the Long War. And to give them, everyone throws a grenade.
Yeah, Grenadiers, 10 of them.
Grenadiers.
Yeah.
So I aimed at an impulsor. And after...
A full health impulsor
with the invulnerable 4-up. After all of my dice, without Arch Contaminator near him...
Right. He's only rerolling once.
I did 13 mortal wounds and a total of 18 regular wounds at 2 damage each.
Yeah. So, no, that was after failed saves. So
after failed saves.
He had 31 feel no pains.
Oh yeah, 31 feel no pains.
No big deal.
So that was disgusting, and sure, it takes a lot of janky synergy from the Biologist Putrefier to the Chaos Lord to the stuff like that.
Sure,
but nothing can survive that. We worked it out. It would take down an Imperial Knight
easily.
And then later on, in the game, I fell back with some flies that were tying up a Judicer and threw 3 grenades at him. So I used 1 CP so everyone could throw a grenade. Only chose 3 of them to throw grenades. Another 7 shot someone else. But that Judicer was dead.
He was dead.
And it's really nice just having a point and click unit where I can be I want that dead. It's going to be dead. I made some mistakes with moving units and trying to... for some reason, not thinking my Plague Marines could actually kill a unit when I just saw them blow up half of a quarter of his army. So I moved some backup when I should have moved it over there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things the drill, my beautiful drill should have blown up an impulsor.
Oh, man.
But, every time you roll anything but a 1, it's going to be the time that you roll a 1.
Sure.
But I really do love right now that I can't command point reroll that. It makes it a lot more... important for it to happen. Like if I get a 2+, yes, it goes off. I'm not like, okay, let me save a CP just in case it doesn't go off.
Right.
It takes like a lot of the tension away. So that was a lot of fun. It was a great game though. I had a lot of fun with Nate playing. He's kind of one of the very few people I play with right now.
Yeah.
And in general, it was nice to see him being a little happier about it. So the last time we played, he brought an 8th edition list pretty much to the game. And it didn't kind of go well at all. And just to kind of see like he was making some really good plays, really good choices, and he ended up, like I said, winning 74-70. Or, we're going to put an asterisk against that because he cheated for the secondaries. And that's all we can say. I ordered some more Hullbreakers, the terrible Gellerpox unit.
Yep.
So I'm going to use those guys as Chaos Spawn because
move.
they're amazing models, and I'm not going to let them have terrible rules get in the way of me using them.
Hell yeah. And I like the guy who's a fisherman.
Yeah. Yeah. No, dude, they're all great. And then you have like the Cthulhu one.
Yep.
Like where he's part squid, and then you have the fisher guy.
I think that's the guy I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like a fish hook in his back.
Oh, that's rad. But I like one's a butcher, one's a fish person.
Yep. Oh, a fishmonger, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what the other one is.
Candlestick maker.
Oh.
Butcher, baker, candlestick maker.
God damn it.
Yeah, I walked into that one. That's fine.
You've been reading a lot of children's books lately.
I have been reading a lot of children's books lately. I also converted up a Corn Lord.
Yeah, he looks baller, man.
He's amazing. I saw the Judicer, and I'm like, I can make chaos. I liked the hanging over the shoulder, like relaxed look. So I kind of butchered one of the Age of Sigmar Corn kits and the Judicar kit and a couple of Nurgle bits, a couple of Berserker bits. And I think we were talking earlier, I'm making Corn my aperitif to Death Guard.
Nice. Okay.
So, I mean, they're still going to be purple and gold because, paint what you know. But the different aesthetic, even just between the two Chaos factions, is just going to be very nice.
That'll be nice, yeah.
I'm going to surprise you, Danny. My Corn stuff, it's going to be all like weird close combat jank.
What?
Which is like my Death Guard. It's all weird close combat jank.
That sounds like synergy, John.
Such synergy. I primed a Lord of Skulls. I have that guy going.
Oh yeah, I see him up there.
I've got some Blood Crushers that I'm going to make, and I just need a Death Guard break. Not from playing because I'm still having a ton of fun with them, but I think in the past 3 months, I've painted about 4,000 or 5,000 points of Death Guard.
You've done a lot of Death Guard painting, man.
So I think I just need to take a break and move away because I have 10 Blight Lords on my desk that are like half done.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
sometimes you get stuck on a unit. Sometimes, you know. So it's good to take a break.
It is. So I'm going to take a break and paint up my Corn guy. But yeah, that's all we've been up to. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come on back, and I guess we'll get our popular segment out of the way, and we're going to talk about some worst characters.
Nice. Do you have a single wound? A standard bolt gun? Having trouble maintaining an acceptable Xenos kill count? Only barely over 2 meters tall? Maybe it's time to ask your lieutenant if the Rubicon Primaris is right for you. The Rubicon Primaris is a prescription process that helps you to update that tired look. You may notice an increase in your purging abilities within 2 to 4 hours. You may experience loss of life, additional organs, and a points increase. Do not take the Rubicon if you plan on fitting into rhinos, drop pods, or other traditional vehicles. The Rubicon Primaris is not intended for second founding chapters. The Rubicon Primaris is for use on genetically enhanced super soldiers over the age of 800 only. You are encouraged to report negative side effects to your company's apothecary. The Rubicon Primaris. Because sometimes plot armor is just not enough.
The worst character in Warhammer 40,000 ever.
Kill yourself.
Damn.
Who would have thought that BrandBot would make it onto my soundboard so quickly? Me, for one.
BrandBot has been fully integrated with Baby's First Soundboard.
It's going to run flawlessly. It's even shaped like an L now. It's perfect.
It's just so you know what he thinks of you.
Believe me, I'm sure we know now. Welcome back, everyone. We're here for our most favorite segment. This is the worst characters in 40K ever, purely based on tabletop performance, background story, personal opinion.
Yes.
Vicious rumors.
Yep, all those things.
All of these things come into this. So far, we have 5. We had 6. The Avatar of Cain was knocked off last week.
Thank God.
Still, though, Thazar, Necron Pirate, I had a beautiful graphic made up for it. But Office Depot was very good with the copyright laws. And I really
Very well versed.
Very well versed. And they wouldn't print it out because the picture I found on Pinterest apparently belonged to someone else. So 3D printers.
Rude.
I know what the feels is. But yeah, so Thazar, our Necron Pirate, is still number 1. If you don't know who he is, we're going to have our video of the audio coming out pretty soon in that one, because that was before we upgraded to the wonders of video. This week comes from a very special little boy, Denny. You actually suggested this one, right?
Yeah.
Or did many people suggest
I don't know.
this one?
I feel like maybe somebody gave me the idea to do this guy, and I was like, oh yeah, that guy's got to make it on there.
Because now, just spoilers, I mean, if you haven't read the title or even the description of the podcast, it's another Tau. So we went from all Imperium all the time to Goatfish After Party.
Not to be confused with Goat C.
Go see. That's like the highest ethereal in the tower right now is go at sea. Then that, now
the
Joe's going to start
trail that guy leaves is very potent.
Now, last episode we talked about Shizo Caius from the Dawn of War games.
Correct.
He managed to be worse than Inquisitor Karamazov, but not quite as bad as Kato Sakari. So he's sitting at a 4 right now,
which is high.
Which is pretty high. But tell us about this week's challenger to the top 5 worst.
All right. So today, our worst character or this week, or this episode, I don't know.
Whatever. This video segment.
Aun'Va. We're talking about Aun'Va today. Let's go over Aun'Va. All right. So this guy, I'm trying to even think where to start. All right, so ethereals are all douches, right? Like, I think we can all agree on that. Like, they're awful. They're squishy. Nobody likes them.
So they are like the leader cast of the Tau,
not
right?
even other Tau like them, I think.
No.
Like, secretly. That's why I'm a big Farside Enclaves fan, is because they're like, oh, ethereals, those guys are garbage. Get them out of here. And so the rumor is that ethereals use kind of a pheromone or something to, like, subvert the consciousness of other Tau and make them loyal to them.
Like Pepe Le Pew?
Yeah, kind of. Maybe. I don't know. It maybe has to do with their giant whole nose. Who knows?
They're gigantic balls.
Doubtful.
The taint sweat attracts the earth cast.
I wonder how many balls a Tau has.
We got to look up how much goldfish have.
All right, so
I'm going to pause this while we Google.
They're goats.
Oh, they're goats.
They have hooves.
Okay.
Look at my hooves.
Yeah. I'm just going to open another White Claw and look this up because I feel this is going to be a good old Danny Rand.
So, oh my God. All right. So Aun'Va started his life as a normal ethereal, no big deal. But he was eminently inspiring for some reason. Who knows? And so he lived for a long time and lived to be so old that he needed a chair.
Like a mobility scooter?
Yeah. So he's like kind of the Tau version of Karamazov.
Okay. Oh. One muscly arm?
Yeah, one muscly arm.
Goats, by the way, have 2 large, well-formed, fully functional, equal-sized testes and a single scrotum.
Oh, that's nice.
And they are very large. I'm not going to show the camera, but yeah.
Dude, I thought that was an udder.
No, yeah.
No, that's a man udder.
Montana udders.
So, and goldfish have testes on the inside.
Oh.
Because they're fish.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, Aun'Va.
Back away from balls, back to Aun'Va.
He had a
very
sort of low class upbringing in the upper echelon of Tau society.
So he talked about how they were going to be like an Orkwa, like that was like his big moment in the sun. That's how he got famous, and he predicted that it would happen.
Man, he predicted that an orc would fight.
Well, he predicted that the Tau would win against the orcs.
Oh.
And beat Wogrognik. That's the name of it.
Well, that's so he predicted 8th edition, where an Orkwa would lose to a Tau gun.
Every game. No, that's, I don't know. It's kind of true. But
yeah, so he predicted, pulled it out of his pheromone.
No big deal. 10,000 fire warriors were able to defeat an orc army. Cool. Yeah, who would have guessed that? They could have sat back and shot them.
They probably did.
Yeah. So he kind of like assumed the mantle of high ethereal after the last ethereal took their quote unquote last walk, which I assume they kind of like walk into.
Wait, like in the Judge Dredd movie, where the judges take their last walk into the Badlands.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Nice.
Jesus.
So we have slight Halo vibes. Judge Dredd vibes.
Mm-hmm. Let's just make sure we're noting all of the different franchises that this steals from. Also,
is inspired by.
Man, he's got quite the hat, almost like a Pope hat. Hence his popular name, Space Pope.
You know, Crypt Hunters, which we were lucky enough to get a review copy of, is a fantastic 2-player game.
Two or more.
Two or more. Yeah, find the relic, banish the ghost, save the city. Thank you for this review copy of Crypt Hunter. So where they lavishly borrow their background for Tau would be...
Instead of making their own excellent intellectual property like they did with
Age of Sigmar Crypt Hunter.
Anyway, so... And he like backs Shadow Sun and everything like that. Anyway, so basically this guy is like... You would say Space Pope, right?
Right.
Because you look at his hat and you go, oh, Pope.
He's got a big Pope hat.
No, dude.
Pope mobile.
Space Hitler.
Space Hitler?
Space Hitler, man.
Hitler didn't have a funny hat. He had a funny haircut.
Well, how do you know that just wasn't his hat? That was like his... He could have been bald, dude. You don't even know. He could have all be a toupee.
Blew my mind.
No, dude. What do they call that? Yeah, it's like peacocking, like pickup artists. You know, like that's his flair or whatever. Like he's got that hat. That's how he gets the.
Yeah, that's
how he gets all the hot Aircast chicks. Just kidding. He was really into Earthcast. Anyway, so he like rises to power, becomes the supreme ethereal, right?
Supreme leader. Yeah.
Right. Supreme leader. Not like Iran at all.
No, not at all.
Not even a little bit. But since ethereals use like subjugation on all the Tau, I mean, effectively they are. They are dictators.
Oh yeah,
the ethereals are,
for sure.
Right? I mean, just like every other leader in 40K.
But it's kind of like just although millions of you will die, it'll ensure that us 30
the greater good,
the greater good,
and we are greater than you, so we will be good.
Societally, we are greater, so we are good.
And so, like, there was some questions on whether or not, like, maybe he kind of sped along the last, like, Supreme Ethereal's, like, demise or last walk. Like,
ooh, did he get
I think he was a little spicy.
A little assassination action? I wonder what goats are allergic to.
And so, nothing, dude. They eat tin cans. Much like ethereals. We're just making up our own fluff now. And so I think it was some of his ideas to like keep freezing and unfreezing like some of the like the great Tau war leaders like Farsight and Shadow Sun and this butthole. And so like they would keep freezing and unfreezing these guys. And he isn't like, I'm trying to think of a good word. He's too good to have a bodyguard of like normal Tau.
Oh, for sure, because he's supreme leader.
Yeah, so do you know what his bodyguard is?
What's his bodyguard?
Other ethereals.
Aren't they terrible fighters, though?
They're like, yeah, they're bad fighters.
Yeah.
They have like big sticks.
He just wants to hang out
They're not even sharp, John.
He wants to hang out with his friends. He doesn't want to be like supreme leader. He didn't want to be supreme leader.
They're
he was
definitely
forced to
not
because
altar
his
boys.
Dad made him, and he was like, well, I just want to hang out with my buddies. Like, fine, they'll be your bodyguard. And all the elite, like, riptide suits and things that you would want as a bodyguard,
right?
Go away.
So he tells Farsight, like, "Hey, go out, do the third expansion, like increase the size of the Tau Empire." Farsight's like, "Rad." He gets out there. He's like, "Man, fuck ethereals, they suck." And so immediately, Aun'Va's like, "Man, fuck Farsight."
Was Farsight at all intimidating by the height of the ethereal's hat?
No, dude, he's inside of a crisis suit,
so he can't fit a hat of that size.
Well, and so that's one of the big disadvantages in Tau technology is
that you can't fit giant hats.
You can't wear a hat on the inside of your robot suit. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't know.
That's canon.
It's canon now. Yeah, as well as they eat cans.
Literally canon. Canom.
Oh, that's so bad. Why did they delete the
Anyway, so during the
Kill yourself.
Yes, I totally deserve that. So during the so this progresses. He maintains he keeps a stranglehold on leadership of the Tau for a long time.
Sure, it really helps when all of the other leadership are your bodyguards, and you probably an assassin.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So he unthaws Shadow Sun, and it's like, all right, Shadow Sun, like you're the new poster child for the Tau Empire. Like, I'm gonna need you to be real inspiring. She's like, all right, because I don't have a choice because I'm your mental slave.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man.
Correct. It's exactly like Demolition Man. Tower, basically Demolition Man.
So, like Sylvester Stallone would be like Farsight,
right? Yes,
it's because of the corrupt system.
Or wait, no, would Wesley Snipes be like Farsight?
No, because Wesley Snipes has got those mental blocks put in, so he can't harm like the other guy. He has to follow orders, right? And he knows how to knit.
Yeah.
And the greatest line from Demolition Man: "Shit, auto-inflate." So anyway, Demolition Man, Halo.
So this kind of like his story, you would think it comes to a conclusion during the Damocles Gulf incident, where like Raven Guard and the Imperials are fighting against Tau expansion. I'm pretty sure this is 5th expansion.
Yeah, because the 4th spear got lost. Right.
They got sucked into the warp and like appeared halfway across the galaxy and started their own Tau Empire, but with demons. With demonic possession in the warp. That was their and racial intolerance. That too. Because they slaughtered all their auxiliaries, man.
Yeah, greater good, man.
It's all for the greater good.
Could you imagine the orientation day where you have humans beside Croup-eyed Vespid, beside bloodletters and plague bearers?
It's real awkward, real fast.
Beasts of Nurgle who just want to play. No, Terry, stop trying to touch people. You're going to murder them.
Stop licking them.
That is against the greater good.
Please refer to your sexual harassment book. No licking.
Tau orientation would be lame.
It'd be really
bad.
Suck, man.
All right. Damocles.
So Damocles Gulf. The Imperials send an assassination or like an execution force.
An execution force. One of each flavor, like a Neapolitan ice cream of death.
Right. So I think they send one after Aun'Va, Farsight, Shadow Sun, and Aun'Va. So Aun'Va draws the easiest one to kill, right? The Calexis. Like, there's not a Psyker. Like, why should he be scared of that?
Right. Well, he's hitting on 6s, so.
Well, that might be tough when you don't have any guns.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. Then be afraid.
So the Calexis kills him.
Oh. I did read a little bit of his little Wikipedia entry there. I did read that he ran away like a little bitch.
Oh, he tried. Well, I mean, he hovered away.
Hovered away on his little scoot.
Yeah, because he on the Scooty Puff Jr.
Scooty Puff Jr. And then like he got it stuck. So I'm imagining like that mobility scooter at Walmart, like
got high centered on the fucking
centered on the end cap, and he had to like walk away from the mall security that's chasing him at that point. Slowly.
Just kidding. That Calexis definitely had a segue.
I also enjoyed the fact that it said the segue. The Calexis made the death not slow, not painless.
No, it was painful.
Like, I feel that you were that Calexis assassin.
God, I wish.
But yeah, Aun'Va.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was just fantasizing
about his death.
So he dies, but that's not the end for this guy, right? It's just like any good comic book series. When you die, you're not really dead, right?
Oh, he came back. I didn't read that far.
Oh no, okay, John. Well, he didn't come back. That's the thing. The Tau made him into a hologram.
Wait, what? Like
so that you can continue to use Aun'Va in games. He's a hologram of the original, and he's an like AI Tupac? Personality. Yeah, sure. Or like Little Sebastian.
I guess if like he has his Scooty Puff Jr. floating around anyway, it's probably easy enough to hide a hologram generator.
Right, and the bodyguards are really just ethereals, like pushing the buttons. That's how I think.
Oh, well, maybe yeah. Ooh. Okay, so Aun'Va's ghost is on deck.
Is he a ghost? Or is he just a stupid computer program? I mean, he could just be BrandBot.
Kill yourself.
Damn, it's Aun'Va.
The resemblance is striking. And the rest of the tower are like, oh man, should we listen to this guy? I mean, he's not just a hologram, right?
No, yeah, absolutely.
But he is. He is
like that
just a
guy's like
hologram.
3 centuries old.
Which is like the oldest Tau in forever.
Yeah, forever.
Anyway,
so let's play some here. So Aun'Va,
he's so garbage. All right.
So Inquisitor Karamazov, old muscly arm himself.
All right, so to be totally honest with you, I like Inquisitor Karamazov more than I like Aun'Va. I think Aun'Va displaces
Okay, so we have
Inquisitor Big Arm.
Muscly arm.
The Hermit Crab Inquisitor.
Look at the thumbnail for the Inquisitor Karamazov video and you'll notice that thing there. So we're going to put him at least 5th. Now it's the Battle of the Goat Boys.
Oh, man. It's a real goat off.
It's the upper class. It's the 1% versus the 99.
Oh man,
it's Baron Zemo versus the Winter Soldier.
Man, I got that reference, and I'm really proud of you for making that.
Thank you.
That was really solid.
Yeah, it's just what I do. Is Aun'Va worse than Caius?
That's tough, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a good answer for this.
I don't know if I don't.
What do you think?
So Caius is a product of his time. So he's terrible because they froze him fully conscious and keep waking him up for stupid missions.
Right.
Or little paragraph blurbs at the side where you're like, oh, I recognize that guy. Aun'Va is just generally a piece of shit, I think.
I mean, he caused all kinds of horrible, like, mass
He's the
homicide.
one who turned Farsight against the Tau Empire.
I know.
So I think he's worse than Caius.
I agree.
This is the real tough one as we move him up to 4th.
It's not that tough.
Cato Sicarius versus Aun'Va. Who's worse?
Sicarius is worse.
He's way worse.
He's way worse.
Yeah. So that's now our top 5. Thazar maintains his number 1. His stranglehold.
So hard to knock out,
to beat.
Look who he has. Look who you have to get through. Look who you have to be worse than.
So you have to be worse than a Necron Pirate, Kaldar Drago, and Cato Sicarius to crack into the top 3 of worst characters. We have some amazing listener suggestions coming in who I think have some pretty good opportunities to crack that. But we're going to keep on with these. Let us know if you have any suggestions for worst character. Real quick before we go away, I had this as a separate segment, but let's just do it here real quick while we're doing it.
I'll blow a hole in you with my
corrections and omissions. Man, people really like Cato Sicarius.
That blows me away. I didn't think anybody actually liked him.
So the weird thing is, most of the comments on the videos and emails that I've got about it have been
except for our friend Cam. Cam likes Cato Sicarius.
Have been defending Cato Sicarius.
Why though?
So
what's wrong with you people?
Yeah, well, one of the comments I got here was need lovely, heart eyes, kissy face, heart, heart, heart from someone who I assume is a bot. So thank you for that.
Nice.
We got a comment. He said, "It is I, Cato Sicarius, Master Swordsman, devastatingly handsome champion of Ultramar, best drop pod marine, never failing at anything an eye. Cato Sicarius, love how you tried to make I, Cato Sicarius, look bad with this video, but as usual, it just made I, Cato Sicarius, champion of Ultramar, look even better." Twitch replied with, "My dude, you, Cato Sicarius, had to be saved by a guardsman fighting a demon. Chill."
It's sad when like your biggest accomplishment is beating a robot gorilla.
We have mob rules. The only people who complain about nepotism are the ones from families that aren't clever enough to take advantage of it themselves. That said, you did a good job of showing off how cool Cato Sicarius is, even though that was the opposite intent. Which I got to reply with, "He's so cool he can beat us a 10, but then got punked by a destroyer lord." So yeah, people really love Cato.
I don't get it.
And we talked about it. It's like he has the unique job of being built up character-wise, and he should be interesting because he is obviously the number 1 choice to take over as chapter master when Kalgar passes. But
that's impossible. Because Kalgar is also a giant Mary Sue.
Yeah, and he's actually got a real good chance of
cracking
the top 3.
Yes.
But like the way Ultramarines promote their chapter masters, it would be the first company captain who is Agamemnon, who is much less cool. So like that's
actually I like Agamemnon.
Yeah, well that's the struggle. He knows he's the best, but he'll never be where he needs to be. I think
so sad.
If they tapped into that aspect of his character more, 100% on board.
Right.
But instead we have a Cato Sicarius who is just supremely confident in who he is arrogant about his skills, just wins every battle.
Giant douche.
And he's like, oh yeah, I have these problems. I don't care. I want to see it affect him. I want to see him bothered that he can't go where he deserves to be.
Yeah, and like make him more human, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is really the mark of a well-written character.
But until that happens, he's staying at third. So yeah, no thank you.
Yep.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking. Or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
Oh, we're back. And just
so back,
just
John.
enough time to wrap up. Let's talk about some of our friends in the Rogue Trader now.
I know, yeah, man, they've been doing some great stuff lately.
Man, some of their best episodes have been their last ones. Can I just say the last episode of the Dangly Boys was the single best episode they've done so far.
Was it because I was on it?
Oh, you were on that? That's crazy. That you were on the Dangly Boys episode talking about kind of how to start with Necrons.
It really went from okay
to A+
to pretty good.
It was pretty good. Whereas I managed to lower the quality of our NZ40 Shabal, which they corrected me on, by the way. I said Cabal and they said
okay.
Shabal. So that's...
Oh, did they?
I believe it's canon now.
Man, you made a thing happen.
Yeah. So I hung out with our friends from New Zealand on NZ40 Shabal, just talking about 9th edition, some of the changes and things like that. I had a lot of fun with them. And those are those two recent episodes you can listen to. Also, High Lords of Terra did a great...
Yeah, they just came out with an episode. I haven't... It's on my backlog. I'm finishing up the episode of Dangly Boys that I'm listening to where they recap Seth and Shelby's tournament experience at the Almost GT.
Oh, yeah.
The one that Seth won, which was... It was super good listening. That was a great episode.
It was okay.
You're right. Sorry, I was over.
To be on brand.
But then... but definitely High Lords is on my...
Kill
is on my
yourself.
High Lords is next on my list. Now, the episode that I was on for Dangly Boys, we kind of go over like a baseline look at Necrons.
Yeah.
So like where they're at, where we think they might be going, kind of some of the leaked rules that have come out, and kind of going over that stuff. And like, it's almost like a how-to on how to start playing Necrons.
Yeah, which is super nice because there's a lot of players right now with new Necron armies that don't have that codex yet. And it's going to really help chronicle. And then I think Dangly Boys is going to chronicle the experience of Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the Dangly Boys down there who is kind of getting Necrons and learning to get good.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, but with better help, obviously. Thanks, Danny.
Well,
yeah.
it's just okay.
Just okay help.
Yeah, it's just okay help.
And like I said, I got to talk to the NZ40 Cabal guys about some of my experiences playing.
Yeah.
They haven't played a lot of games, obviously, because they're
back on lockdown.
Right now. So some of like the 9th edition changes, things we've been up to, and kind of my thoughts on Death Guard, which are obviously my kind of my jam right now. But that was a super fun time. Danny, also heard yourself out. You've been on Best in Faction a bunch recently, a couple times.
Yeah, just once so far. I think we're going to record another Faction Focus coming up here.
For Faction Focuses for 9th edition.
Yep.
So if you want some of Danny's hot takes before codexes come, you can check them out there.
Very excited about this one.
Very excited. Our Discord keeps on pumping along.
Oh my god, they're so great.
So great. And we had a couple great new patrons here joining our Discord. Some amazing hobby progress coming along.
Dude.
Lots of Blood Bowl talk, which I'm starting to get happy about, I gotta say.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, I've been playing a lot of Blitz Bowl.
I downloaded Blood Bowl.
Oh, you did? Good play.
I've been playing it.
It's really good.
It's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. Like the animations alone just make
it. Yeah, I need to finish the campaign. And then I'm probably gonna start like a Dark Elf League or something like that, because I really want to play Dark Elves.
Let me know when you do, and I will jump in on that.
Oh hell yeah, dude, that'd be awesome.
And then Josh will also jump in there too.
Oh cool, man, that's dope.
we talked about sort of like some of the challenges people are having kind of facing the new edition of the game where everything is the same but completely different.
Right.
And like I said, it really clicked for me this week. And sometimes it just takes time to kind of realize that, yeah, the rules are pretty much the same. There's one or two minor differences. But those missions, they make everything so different.
Yeah, this brings up a good point, right? This is one of those editions where edition fatigue can become extremely problematic. Right? Sure. So whereas the jump from 7th to 8th was a complete rewrite, everything changed. Like almost nothing stayed the same. Whereas from 8th to 9th is kind of more of like a correction.
Right.
So, I think, and when I say edition fatigue, I mean like rules bleed. So, rules that seem like they belong in this edition, but actually were from last edition.
And it happens to me a lot, and even towards the tail end of 8th edition, where I was making lists and adding a Vanguard in there because I thought the battalions only had 3 elite slots, but for 8th edition they had 6, and that's something again because in 7th it was like that. I just assumed all the way along. So because it's so similar, there is a lot of that. What I'm seeing is the GT 2020 tournament pack makes the gameplay the way it does. Now, what I want to see, do we get a GT 2021 tournament pack in December?
I think it's got to.
With the standard chapter approved, or is that release slot going to be when the weird Bring Your Own Terrain book comes out?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
So we don't know, but we're going to see. But it's really it's a nice way to do it because every year you can reset the balance through missions and points.
Exactly.
And
both of them at the same time, right? And how, last year, remember my prediction.
Sure.
Was that there was going to be, remember we made predictions in the new year of what stuff was going to come out, and I thought, or maybe it was right before Christmas, and I thought that they were going to write a mission pack.
Yeah.
Dude, and they did. I'm so happy that they're doing this. I think that's a great way to rebalance the game and make sure that everything stays fresh.
And assuming that we go back to any kind of normal where we can travel and there's massive events like LVO, LVO is going to be such a weird place game-wise because if you have the 2021 mission pack coming out in December, and
plus
points changes coming in December, and then the biggest major in the world coming up a month later. The lists,
they're going to be bizarre.
They're going to be bizarre. And I'm really excited for LVO to be the birthplace of some really bizarre, cool things. So yeah, it's not going to be like before where we had the Leviathan build that came up with the last LVO, and although kind of chapter approved, changed some of the points and made them change around, the bases of the list stayed the same.
The Champions missions have been the Champions missions for months by that point, so everybody knew how to play, and what they were supposed to do.
But if you completely change all of the missions,
a
month before.
So I think LVO is kind of where we establish the baseline for the meta, the upcoming tournament meta for the rest of the year. And so it will be super interesting if it happens. What gets codified, what comes out, what kind of gets written in stone as being amazing or overpowered, and then whether or not Games Workshop immediately fixes that, in March or whatever,
their spring
FAQ. Yeah, who knows?
I mean, it kind of works because it gives them that data from LVO to fix, plus RTTs and GTs that go in the meantime, but the single biggest data aggregator for them in LVO makes sense to build around.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's exciting that it's coming out like that. So I kind of turned a corner this week, and like I said, we were talking about it where I'm okay, I assume primary based on my build. I build for secondary, and then when I play the game, I'm playing to deny you your secondary.
Yeah, I think that's solid.
And that's kind of how I view it right now.
Okay.
But give it a couple months, new books come out.
And maybe that'll change. We're going to have, because we have probably the biggest change in overall 40K is a new Space Marine Codex always, right? And so a new Space Marine Codex is coming in October, and it's going to not only change normal Space Marines, so that's White Scars, Iron Hands, Salamanders,
Imperial Fists,
Ultramarines, right? So it changes that stuff. But it also seems like it's including Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Death Watch.
Yep.
So that's how many armies that are getting huge changes
But
soon.
On top of that, it also changes Grey Knights. It also changes guard.
Potentially,
It also, with the weapons changes.
All the Imperial armies plus most of the Chaos armies.
Most of the Chaos armies are going to be changing in some sense or form.
Right.
And the way that they're rolling it out makes me think that, yeah, we already kind of assumed from what we heard the Death Guard was going to be coming out soon with a new book, like pretty soon after these two. But the Chaos books and the Grey Knight books can't be far behind.
No.
Because of the size of the changes that are coming from this.
So I see those two, right? Like Thousand Sons, Death Guard, Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, but also new supplements for Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Death Watch. Especially Death Watch. They need one real bad.
Yeah. So it's going to be a real interesting 6 months release-wise, because we're starting to see some of the COVID backup coming out here where like we have boxes coming out where codexes should already be out, I feel.
Yep.
We're starting to kind of see weird things like that. So there's going to come a point where they just have to kind of rip off the Band-Aid and unclog the blockage. So I think there's going to be a few codexes where they're just going to rapid fire release, which I think with a release like Space Marines you can.
Right.
So I think we're going to see a lot of clearing coming out this last 6 months.
That's awesome. I'm very excited for the
Hopefully.
next 6 months, man.
Hopefully it should be super good.
Yeah.
What you got to plug? What do you want to talk about?
So you can check me out on Mob Rules.
Be sure to listen to Mob Rules. If
It's a good podcast.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's good.
It's better than okay.
And then all of our other Rogue Trader Network friends. So of course,
Oh, man.
Dangly Boys with their Southern charm and Southern tournament scene, which is just like has such a great quality of player down there.
We did address that. That was pretty great.
That's really good. Then the NZ 40 Shabal. If they make me pronounce the Z as hard and presenting the K as soft,
You'll do it.
I do it. I'm a madman.
I know.
And then, of course,
the High Lords of Terra.
And then rounding out the network. Check out all of those shows. It's all good content and okay content.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's all we have.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah, check us out on YouTube. Look at our stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's okay.
No, dude, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We have to. It would be nice. Like we've got some new equipment thanks to our Patreons.
Yes.
So we'd like to start shooting some more videos.
Yeah.
So look forward to some additional YouTube content in the future.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting there. And I guess thank you to all of our amazing Patreons.
Oh my God, they're the best. Like our community is awesome.
Like we have like $1 tier, a $5 tier. I like to remind people what they could have bought for $1 instead of
a
candy bar,
a soda,
coffee. You know, maybe like a little treat for your significant other,
John's
like
mom.
a flower or something like that. There is not a 50-cent tier, excuse you.
Oh, sorry, John's mom twice.
Danny and I are also guest judging right now for the latest round of submissions for Cold Open Stories.
Yeah.
So we're gonna read and judge other people's work because that's where I do best.
Man.
Not creating my own work,
Judgment,
but judging other people's.
Yeah.
I'm not even recording this. We're like finger winking and like finger gun and winking at the camera. That's how professional we are right now.
So professional.
I'm still wearing this goddamn tie the whole time.
Dude, you really commit to a shtick when you do it.
You've got to.
Yeah.
You better believe the next time I see Singer that I'm going to be wearing a tie with
Hell
a
yeah.
t-shirt, or maybe even no shirt.
No, that would be a power move.
Just a tie and a suit jacket.
Please do that.
And shorts, sports shorts. Follow me on Twitter. Hey, John Q. Follow Danny on Twitter. Villicate5.
I might even post something.
Who knows?
It's crazy.
Who knows? I'm just really sarcastic. I think all I've really posted this past couple of weeks is retweeting people posting about Rogue Trader. And being like, oh, this must be the grimdark aesthetic everyone wants to go back to.
Oh, man. Those are so great, dude. Every time you post one of those in our chat, it cracks me up every time.
Because, I get these, edgelords who are like, man, we're losing the grimdark. It's going to be like the good old days. Like, man, when I came into this game, all the bases were bright green. The orcs talked like Londoners who were like football hooligans. Like, dude, this guy's literal weapon is like a fart rocket. I'm like,
right.
Where's the grimdark? Your big orc warlord? Gazgul Thraka is a joke name off of Margaret Thatcher, the British Prime Minister. What fucking grimdark are we going back to here? It's the 3rd edition.
I mean, look at any pictures of 1st edition Blood Bowl, and I think you'll have all of the answers that you need.
It's 3rd edition Edgelords, which is also the name of my Blood Bowl team now.
Hell yeah.
3rd edition Edgelords. They're going to be Wood Elves.
that is solid.
Yeah, that is out of character. But anyway. That's all I have. That's all Danny has.
Yep.
I'll remember to post videos this week, and then we will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks
for more.
So back
for more worst character possibly best weapons in 40K.
Oh yeah, new segment, guys.
New segment. We're going to have some more jank to kind of promote some of those little love models that need homes, and also ones I'm trying to sell. And then all of the other usual fun. But for Mob Rules, I've been John.
I've been Danny.
And we'll see you next time.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, 'neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share. And no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fools, said I, you do not know. Silence, like a cancer, grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sounds of silence.
Who the fuck left BrandBot on?
Sorry.